stormy clouds inside my sleep. Sometimes if they are fake, they still dig deep. And when I follow them to the back of my mind, I find that I've gone too far this time. Too far this time.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. We're back. Episode 109, Interviews with Everyday People. I'm going to get my housekeeping stuff out of the way right away. First off, I want to thank the people who support us on Patreon. It's $5 for early content that eventually you'll get because I've been putting it all out there anyway. And $1 for just general support. But everything just goes to help us out. So I want to thank Tommy B, the Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop in Ringtown, Brad Zalonis, Higher in Other Words podcast, Jay and Austin Blackwell. And then most importantly, I have my photos from vacation up because I was showing you stuff. I want to thank Abaddon Tattoo Studio as our sponsor. They are a unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. They provide high quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed and sterile environment. Do you have any tattoos?
I do.
How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your biggest piece?
A hip piece.
Ooh, you got a hip side piece.
I do.
That's brave.
My JJ was screaming because he was like right on a nerve and it shot down. I was like, dude, you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Relax.
Where do you get your ink done?
Well, I got the hip piece done at Good Vibrations, and then everything else is kind of like when I travel, I was like in this rebellious stage. I'm like, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that. Like Chicago, I got one. Vegas, I got one. Oh God, I don't even know.
Well, you're going to be getting one from Abaddon.
Yeah.
Because I have a bunch of gift cards. And because it's it's Memorial Day, veteran, all that cool stuff, and you're home.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a $100 gift card from Abaddon.
God, thank you.
Yeah, you're going to get one.
Yeah.
You're going to get a tattoo.
Woo! Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, this whole, well, introduce yourself. Let people know if they don't know who you are.
You don't know, now you know.
Can we cancel immediately?
So my name is Taryn Harris. I am originally from La Plata, Maryland. Well, I was born in La Plata, Maryland, and I was implanted here in Schuylkill County when I was 11 years old. Yeah, it's great. I don't know what to say.
We'll dive. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
We became like Facebook friends, and then it was I think it was one of those things where you knew more of me, I guess, in school because I kind of just stayed away from everybody in my North Schuylkill years because I was a loser. And then we were Facebook friends, and it was one of those things where I think I challenged myself a little bit where I was like, if you're my Facebook friend and we see each other in public, I'm gonna say hi type deal. And I think we just started bullshitting.
Yep.
And then we had mutual friends like at the time, like you knew people I knew and vice versa. And then we were just kind of every time we see each other in the bar, we'd give yourself a toast and a hey, what's up?
Yep.
And then you were about to get deployed, and we were doing like the drunk, like I'm gonna be leaving soon type deal. You know how you get emotional, like not emotional.
No, actually, I think we were really chill because the boys upstairs were playing, and we were just like in our drunken stupor, like loving the music. And I think you had mentioned about the podcast. I said, well, I'm leaving soon, so it's gonna have to wait a little bit.
It was one of those things where it's like,
it was kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh shit, it's right around the corner. And
you were like not upset, but like you were like, it's nervous. It's you're leaving your family, your kid and all. And I was just like, well, listen, like I know coming back to your family is more important, but come back, and when you come back, let's talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Yeah, crazy.
You got to be on local news. You get this,
yeah.
How did that all come about?
So when I was coming home, I had originally reached out to my daughter's teacher. Shout out to Mr. Highsock. Woo. So he helped me out to arrange through the school district. Like it went up to the superintendent, the principals. I forget the PA's name for North Schuylkill. Oh my God, I feel terrible. But they arranged it that I would come in on a...
You're good. Just double check.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. I would come in like around her recess time, and they were going to have like her classmates line up. I don't know if you've ever seen the elementary school. They have like this
new one?
Yes.
Not too much, no.
Okay,
I was only
the
in the gym. Yeah.
You've driven by though, right? Okay. So they have like that huge awning outside, and I told them that I wanted to come to the school and surprise her, but I was vaccinated at the time, but they were still like pushing vaccinations really hard here. And I believe The teachers at the time that him and I had communicated, like, didn't know when they were going to be vaccinated. And it was like this huge thing. So I said, I don't want to break COVID-19 protocol, like whatever, if you want to bring her outside, I don't want to risk putting the kids in danger or whatever. Cause you want to respect everybody else's like boundaries and whatever. So, he had arranged it that I would come during recess. He would keep Maddie behind a little bit and just kind of talk to her about random stuff. And then the other teachers are going to like line her classmates up on both sides of the doors and kind of put a little turn on it. And then when she came out, she would see the line and kind of follow it and then see me at the end of it. Unfortunately, the first day that I was supposed to do it.
Come on in, you got food.
Oh, hi. The first day we were supposed to do it, my flight got postponed. So we had to push it back, I think from a Monday to a Wednesday. So then Tuesday, I'm in the airport in Dallas, and Mr. Hysock called and said, hey, so the kids are on virtual. The computer system was hacked, and we don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, well, then I guess I'll just talk to our surpriser tonight when I get home. I'll just wake her up, get her out of bed. And I was like, don't expect her at school tomorrow. So in the meantime, I guess, oh, God, Jim Gross, that's his name.
Good guy.
Yes.
He calls me Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
If you ever watch professional wrestling, he said like Kevin Owens.
Okay. So he, I guess, had arranged for like the media to come, and then he had to send an email and let them know like, hey, we're having virtual, it's canceled. Well, then Mr. Hysaw called me back like an hour later, and I was stuck in Dallas for 8 hours. It was horrible. So anyway, he's like, hey, the news station wants to reach out to you. They still want to do something covering you surprising Maddie. Is it okay if I give him your number? I was like, yeah, sure. So the dude called me, Chris Pohanski. He's amazing. He's so freaking sweet. He's like, hey, I got the email, and he's like, I still want to do something. Like, what can we think of? Like, can I go to your mom's house and interview Maddie? He's like, but I don't know what to say. I was like, well, it's actually Military Kid Appreciation Month. So you can just use that as like your foot in the door. So fast forward, I got home. My flight landed late Tuesday night. So I went to my house and slept because my mom and dad kept Maddie while I was gone. And just got up early in the morning, showered, and put my uniform back on. And while Chris was on his way to the house, at the house, like interviewing, he's like texting me. So I had to like sneak over to the house. So like my parents live off Route 61, and their house kind of like sits down in, but from their front windows from the living room, you can see everything. So I had to like park my car like on Route 61 and kind of like shimmy my way down the driveway. Like I was booking it full force. I was waiting for me to go face plant it down the driveway and roll like a.
You calling the your head's bleeding.
Oh yeah, I was totally prepared for it. So
sticker bushes on.
Hey Maddie. So I managed to like get down there, and then I was just kind of hanging out under the side door, like the steps. And then he texted me, and I mean, it's history from there. It's online. It's awesome.
Those videos make me cry every time.
Yeah.
It's just something, especially not trying to say like kids are awesome, but I'm like a dog person.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen when the dogs see their like?
Oh, they go crazy. Yes.
Boom,
so
every time.
When we're done, I'll show you the video of my chaplain with his dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs are great.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Did she ever like suspect anything?
She had no idea. So I told my mom, hey, the Wi-Fi's down. Like I can't, cause like I had to switch out SIM cards while I was gone. And we had these things called pucks, which were like digital Wi-Fi little carriers. And that was the only way you could really contact back home is through Wi-Fi. So without,
at least you guys have something like that.
Yeah. But like you have to like put data on it and stuff. Like it kind of got expensive, but I mean, what are you going to do if you want to talking to your family's priceless? So
what's crazy? Like people in jail are getting cell phone now. Like,
and here we are like paying
and the military
for data
has
plans
to pay,
in the Middle East.
That's kind of
to talk to our family. Yeah.
Kind of shitty.
But yeah, she had no idea. So I had texted my mom like, hey, there's a sandstorm coming. Like I'm not gonna be able to talk. Just please let Maddie know I love her. I love you guys. Like I don't know how long it might be out because you know, sometimes when sandstorms comes through, it interferes with like the service and the signal.
What is that like, a sandstorm?
Miserable. You will have sand in places you never thought possible.
So when you immediately said sandstorm, I immediately thought of Mad Max.
Okay.
Have you ever seen like with the lightning through the
Yeah.
sand?
So think of what is that movie with Kid Rock? The Scorpion?
Kid Rock is in a movie?
No, The Rock, not Kid Rock. The Rock.
I thought you said
Oh, no, not The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
No.
Scorpion King.
Scorpion. No, that's not the one. The Mummy.
The Mummy. Okay.
With what's his face?
That was a spinoff.
Yeah.
The Rock was a
Okay.
spin-off of
So
that.
like the big cloud of sand coming and it just like takes over. It's crazy. Like there's pictures and stuff.
Are they dangerous? Like.
No, I mean they can be, because if you're driving in it, like visibility, it's just like a snowstorm basically. But sand gets everywhere. Snow just melts. So I had said I will never take cleaning my ears with Q-tips for granted again.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pulling sand out of like our ears for days afterwards. Like it literally gets.
Do you have to
everywhere.
like wear a face thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but
It's probably smart.
Yeah, because that sand hits your face and it hurts. Like,
is it coming in like fast, or is it?
Well, it's wind. It's wind coming off of, you know, the coast and just kicks it all up, and it like comes at you full force and it like stings your face. It's miserable.
It's like hail almost.
But it's an experience. So I mean, there were people out there taking pictures and like posing in it, and I'm like all dressed up. Like, I just want to go get my food. I hate this shit.
I just seen for the first time ever on our vacation the like when like a mini tornado happens in the middle of the desert.
Oh yeah.
Like where it's not huge, but like you can see like the wind kicking up and you see like the little funnel.
The little sand, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to run into it, but I was like, and then it like gets huge, and it's like, and then
probably
I'm like,
not smart.
Now I'm in Oz. Yeah. So what is the like? If it's too much, you don't have to get into it. But like leaving your family, especially having a kid, and like how do you mentally prepare for that?
You don't. You never will. So the most I have been away from her is probably about like 4 weeks for training. You can get used to that because you get in a routine. But this year, like with the pandemic especially, it was really tough because when I was like 2 months after I had left home, Maddie unfortunately had come down and was I'd say diagnosed, but she had caught COVID-19. So, you know, then my mom got it a week later. So my dad was taking care of Maddie, and like Maddie had to seclude herself in her room. My mom had to seclude herself in her room at her house. Like it was really tough. My dad was kind of like balancing back and forth between the two. But when your kid is calling you, this is the first time that she's sick and you're not there in 12 years.
Yeah.
It was really tough.
So she's 12?
Yeah, she'll be 13 in September. Ugh.
Teenager.
She's 12 going on 21, so it's already there. She would cry like, I want you home. Can you just tell the army that I don't feel good? You know, and that really like hits home. So there's no way you can mentally prepare to be away from. It's one thing to be away from your parents. Everybody needs a break from their parents, right? Some people like
I can go away for months and be like,
our
okay.
younger soldiers, like 19, 20 years old, are still living at home. They took it as a vacation. But when you have a kid and you're away, like there were some individuals that missed the birth of their child. There's some that their child was just born a couple weeks before we left. So like it's throughout the ranks everywhere, but there's nothing like, it's not like the Army gives you a book and says, here's how you cope with it.
Yeah.
You know, you just find your way to do it. So my way was just kind of keeping busy, and, you know, you develop connections with people because it's your family away from your family, you know, like you guys are going into the Middle East together and potentially going to see some shit. So like you have each other's back. So you build those connections and you kind of rely on them. And the biggest thing is just talk about it more than anything. But yeah, like the support system is awesome because like everybody can relate some way, somehow, but there's nothing that can really prepare you. Like
when did you sign up and join?
Oh God. February 4th, 2004. I'm
so
you
were straight out of school?
No, I actually joined my junior year of high school.
Oh, you did what do they call
split
that?
Up.
The what?
The split up.
Okay.
So I joined my junior year, and then about 2 weeks, no, maybe like a week and a half after school let out, I left and went to basic training for the entire summer. So while my class was living it up in the bush parties and stuff, my stupid ass
I
was
never been to a
down
bush
like,
party.
what?
I never did a bush party. I
Oh
wasn't
my
cool enough.
gosh.
I wasn't invited.
No, all you did was fight.
Yeah, probably good I didn't go. I didn't go to bush parties. I went to like I had a few friends whose parents were like, "Listen, we'll buy beer. You just stay here and don't leave."
Well, there you go.
I had a few of those. I was never really invited to bush parties. Not a cool
You
kid.
didn't miss much. I
Yeah.
mean, just burning tires and mattresses, whatever you could get your hands on, really. But yeah, so I actually graduated basic training on my 18th birthday. And then I graduated on a Friday, and then that Monday I started my senior year of high school. And everybody's like, "I thought you joined the Army." I'm like, "Well, I do have to graduate high school."
Yeah.
Like, hello. So then after my senior year, I was supposed to leave like maybe a week after graduation, and senior week. I've never been to a senior
I
week.
didn't do that either.
So, I did.
I didn't do prom. I didn't do senior week.
Oh my
I missed
Lanta.
out all of that stuff.
Oh my gosh. I didn't want to miss out on senior week. So I actually went against my parents and went down to senior week for like 2 days. And I literally got back at like 11 o'clock at night the day before I was supposed to ship out for my MOS training, like your job training.
Yeah.
So yeah, I left on a bad note with my parents. Because at this point I'm like, I'm 18, I can do what I want.
I'm doing what I want.
I'm going to senior week. But yeah.
I want to make bad decisions.
Oh, it was miserable though. I was hungover, and then the last
City?
thing, yeah,
Yeah, that's where everybody goes.
the last thing I needed was like a drill sergeant in my face yelling at me. I'm hungover, like telling me what to do, but it worked out. It was cool.
What was the factor that, like, the reason you did sign up? Like,
Oh wow. So my grandfather, God rest his soul, he was awesome. He was a Marine, and my Uncle Rich is a Marine as well. So just hearing their stories, I had thought about it and I wanted to surprise my grandfather, but unfortunately he had passed away the year prior. So when how I don't know if they did it for Monte City, but like they brought all the recruiters in from different branches and they give you your ASVAB your junior year. At this point, I'm like, shit, I want to go into military, but do I really want to go to college? Like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I selected military on it, and then a recruiter called me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going for it. Like, I wanted to do it and surprise my grandfather when I did it, but I didn't get that opportunity. So the recruiter showed up to my parents' house, and ironically, his family is good friends with my mom and like their family, or her family. So he shows up in his uniform, and she's like, "Oh, Joe, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, I'm actually here for your daughter." And she's like, "No, you're not." So I was like, "Let him in the house." So my dad and her sat at the table, and I mean, it's history from there. They had to sign for me because I was 17 at the time.
mm-hmm.
But I went the National Guard side because he's like, "You want to do college, you can still do college, and they'll cover your tuition 100% for state school." So
Mm-hmm.
At that point, like, I didn't know, do I want to go to a trade school? Do I want to go like to a state school? Like I was up in the air still. So I was like, well, this will buy me some time. Like, I can still enjoy my senior year. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
First female in my family to join the military.
How did your family? Because you were saying before, I'm having a beer and I'm 120 pounds. I have what people are like, you're too little for this. You're too.
So I flat out, my mom, I don't remember this. My mom tells the story. She says that I do remember I had red acrylic nails. Because
you were also a cheerleader.
Yeah, I was a cheerleader, and we had our Christmas formal like a couple weeks prior. So I still had like the bright red Christmas acrylic nails. And my mom says that I looked, it was Joe Jordan was my recruiter, and looked him in the eye and said, "Do I have to fire a weapon?" And I don't remember this. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I told my mom, I'm like, well, my thought process is I'm probably asking this because I don't know how, and I don't want to look stupid when they hand me a weapon and I don't know what to do with it.
At this point, have you hunted or shot
No,
yeah.
never. I've never even touched a gun or a rifle, nothing.
You're going
like,
for
I've
it.
never been around it. I was just like going full blown G.I. Jane, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, it worked out. I kill it. Like, I have a good shot because the drill sergeant was like, "Oh, you don't have any bad habits. Just listen to what I tell you and you'll be good." And I killed it. So
I blink when I shoot. I anticipate it and I flinch.
yeah.
I'm terrible at shooting. Call of Duty, I'm pretty good, but everything else, real life, not a chance. I went to a gun range a few times and I wasn't impressive at all.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'll show you up.
All right.
I'll teach it.
And then we shot shoot a musket where like the fire shoots out of it. Yeah, that was fucking terrible.
I actually did that. This was years ago. I have the video somewhere. I actually fired one and it burned the shit out of my hand because I'm like, oh, it's so hot. Like, you don't expect it. And the kickback on it, was it the musket? I forget, but like, you just see my whole shoulder go like this because you won't expect that kickback. But
so I kind of had a little bit of like, this is probably doesn't sound disrespectful, but this is just my sense of humor with my friends in high school. We used to, when the recruiters would come, we'd go up to the table and sign the cards out as if we were our friends.
oh my gosh.
So we were just kind of like making recruiters kind of like
Go in circles.
Yeah. And none of us had any.
You know, I've seen that when I was in school too. And even today, people are like, oh, you would be a really good recruiter. I'm like, nope, don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
Yes.
Because I'll be like, listen here, you little shithead. Grab them by their neck. And
That was me. I was that guy. And then I was like, I got diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome in around, I was like 16. I probably should have got diagnosed when I was at North School, but I didn't know I had it. I would always roll my ankles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like bad. So when I would roll my ankle, I would just thought I would sprain it.
Yeah.
And then like a day, like hours later, my ankle would be the size of a grapefruit and be completely black and blue and huge.
Yeah.
And I would still be able to run on it. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. It doesn't hurt. So what I had found out is I have hyperelasticity of the joints. So my joints and ligaments will stretch, release the joint to a dislocation, and then it would pop back in.
That sounds painful.
It's horrible. It sucks.
So you would not have passed the duck walk.
Yes. So I mean, I can do it. Like, so here's the thing. I know my range. So like, I still played basketball up until I was like 20, and like football wasn't a good thing for me. Like, first time I hit somebody, shoulder came right out. But I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just not gonna tell nobody. I'm not going to go to school. Can't afford it. So I'm going to sign up for the National Guard or one of them. And every time I sign up, like Air Force, National Guard, they'd be like, cool. And I'm like, I wouldn't tell them. And then my mom would answer the phone and she'd be like, he has Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome.
She would shut you down.
She'd shut it down immediately. I was like, you bastard. I actually, one time, I think I was 18. I had everything bypassed with her and like everything was getting closer. And then they called and she was like, he has Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. And then they looked it up and they're like, have a good day. And hung up.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah, so that was the extent of my military.
You tried.
I gave it a
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, Mom.
A part of me was like, I'll get in, I'll get through everything, and then if an injury happen, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, but they would have eventually found out. They would have researched.
Yeah, they so like the physical is crazy. They like threaten to take your parents' house if you lie, like all this crazy stuff. And
I would have been like, I don't care.
I'm like, some of the stuff some of the stuff they ask you, I'm just like, what? Like, who thinks of this? But yeah, they're like, oh, you realize that this is a federal offense if you're lying and you sign this paper and blah 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 blah. We'll take your parents home and this and that. And I'm like, okay, just give me the freaking paper. Like, let's move on. Next slide, please.
I can live at my friend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the closest I ever got. But yeah, so straight out, you're in high school now. Your senior year, what was the reception amongst your friends and the rest of your cheerleading team that you're like?
Well, I actually quit cheerleading because this is gonna sound terrible, and I don't mean it to be an asshole, but
we were young.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, I came back from basic training, and I just had this whole different outlook on life and my mentality. Like, you're gone for 11 weeks. And at that time, like, you had to do a pre-training in Pennsylvania before they shipped you off to the actual basic training. Like, it was a lot. So I I want to say my mentality and my maturity was a few steps more than what it should have been.
When I say this, I'm not being disrespectful when I say it, but it's just like they have to wire your brain to be prepared for what you're going to go through.
Exactly. So like here I am in training for the entire summer. I'm running like 6-7 miles every other day. I'm getting live bullet shot. I'm shooting live bullets, like training exercises. So like it really puts it in perspective for you.
Mhm.
So I come back my senior year and some of the people were like, "Oh, I thought you were joined the army. You failed." I'm like, "No, I didn't. I'm home to finish my senior year so I can graduate and then I leave again." So like everybody was cool and nobody really I don't want to say fucked with me, but like nobody really bothered me and I didn't really bother with anyone else. Just like the small town drama and like the he said she said, like it was tough to adjust because, you know, you see like there's girls that are upset because they're not on homecoming court or they didn't make the cheerleading squad. And I'm just like, who fucking cares?
Like, I'm going to be
Like
fighting.
like it's high school, you're going to college. Nobody's going to give a shit anyway. But they were so like focused on their college application and, you know, like that's their prerogative. I respect that. But for me, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. So it was kind of an adjustment, but I mean, overall, like it was cool. Like people were cool with me. I was cool with them. Yeah, I mean, went to parties when I could and still stayed out of trouble in the process. I was that person that, wasn't, I would just drink here and there and just kind of hang out. And then if I had too much, obviously stay in the bush or wherever
Yeah.
the place was or call my mom like, hey, come get me. But um, never drunk though when I call her because, you're afraid you're going to get in trouble. But I can honestly say I never had an underage. So
Me neither.
I have my brother beat with that one. He didn't get an underage, but he did get in trouble with the cops. So like,
Yeah.
kudos to me.
I got in trouble with cops, but I was always I was a good talker. I can get out of stuff.
Yeah, no, I freeze up and I am the worst liar ever. Like you will immediately see it on my face. I think I got pulled over once coming around this sharp turn in Frackville. And I think it was Butler pulled me over and he's like, Your tires are squealing. And I was like, yeah, I think they're low in air. Like not even thinking. He's like, don't tell me that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get air right now. I'll slow down. Like I was like
got bad
so nervous.
brakes.
Yeah.
I got bad brakes.
I was just like vomit of the mouth. And he's
Yeah.
like, shut up. Stop talking.
What is it? What is the difference when you leave, go and experience the world, and then come back to school county?
So it was different because I feel like when I left, I was afraid to come home and everybody would move on with their lives and be in their schedule. But then the pandemic happened and it's literally like I feel like I pushed a pause button when I left and then I pushed play when I came back.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing really has changed.
Is this your first? How many deployments have you had?
This is my first.
Really?
Yeah, this is my first. Yep. So it was weird. Like it's not a normal. I don't want to say a normal deployment, but like it's different because the world was on pause, during the pandemic. So it's like if there was a time to deploy, I think this would have been the time because, people can't. I don't want to say people can't move on with their lives, but they're adjusting. Like we're adjusting. Yeah, like
you don't do shit until I get back.
Yeah, right? I'm being selfish right now. Like, you're adjusting to how to deal with COVID while you're home, and I'm adjusting overseas. Like, how do I adjust being away from family and putting myself in this mental state? Like, I'm literally in the armpit of the world.
Yeah. Now you're National Guard.
Yeah.
So when you get deployed, who do you get stationed with?
It's with us. Like, you're representing the Pennsylvania National Guard.
Do they group you like Army, Marine?
Oh, well, yeah, we are Army. It's Army National Guard. But, with this certain mission, we were grouped up with every branch, Air Force, Marines. We even had, Spanish Army was part of our task force. Like, you meet so many people from all over the world. And it is just so cool, like, to learn their different backgrounds. And then, your worst day here is our best day there, really. Mm-hmm. So like you really take things into you take advantage. What's the word I'm looking for? Not advantage.
You take things for granted.
Yes. Yeah. Like toilet paper.
Yeah.
So you guys are struggling to find toilet paper over here. We didn't really have that issue. However, it's single ply and you can't flush the toilet paper over there because they don't have plumbing. So you're putting it in the trash can next to the toilet.
Yikes.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Showers. So our water was trucked in. So if you
No water pressure.
there was a little bit of pressure, but like you literally had to get in the shower, turn the water on, wet your body, turn it off, soap yourself up, turn it on, rinse off, turn it off, get out. So if you ran out of water, you were screwed, and you don't know when the next trucking, shipment.
Has that happened where they're all soaped up and they're like,
oh yeah, it happened to me actually. It was my friend Colleen and I. So like we had to walk like 50 yards to the shower trailer. It was miserable. So we get in the trailer, we're doing our thing, and the power cuts out in the trailer. No water, no power, no nothing. So I'm like, oh fuck, I am in mid wash, like trying to soak up, and power cuts out. So thankfully there was another female. Oh my God, it was horrible. So there was another female in the shower trailer, and she's like, are you guys okay? I'm like, can you go get us a case of water? So the water, there's like cases of water, and it sits like under these like covered little shacks, I guess you could say. I was thinking homegirl would get a case of water from outside because it's triple digits, it's warm, it'll be bearable. No, she goes to her chew and gets a cold case that's been in the air conditioning all day. So there we are, like I'm like dumping bottles of water on myself, screaming. You would think I was getting murdered. And then my friend Colleen, her hair is crazy long and crazy thick. So I had to stand on the bench outside of her little stall and like dump bottles of water over the stall for her to rinse off.
You get really acquainted with your people.
Yeah.
You're like, we're gonna see each other, and
yeah, it's inevitable. So
like you're like, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get it out of the way.
You're welcome. Yep. So, but like, again, it's, if you don't realize the things you really do take for granted, like, toilet paper and running water and not having to wear shoes. Like you have to wear shower shoes there. It's, it's a different country. So like, they have contractors, that come in and clean for us, but they're, not exactly, this is going to sound terrible. They don't exactly understand personal hygiene like we do.
Yeah.
So
their idea of probably sterilization and cleaning is different from what we're used to.
Right. Yeah. So you definitely, coming home, like just standing in my shower without shower shoes and with hot water, not having to turn it off was glorious. Yeah. Like I went to turn it off and I'm like, I corrected myself. I'm like, no, fuck that. Fix that all the way up.
I'm crushing this water.
Yeah. I literally just sat in the shower for like 30 minutes, just like soaking it in, like, oh my God, this is so nice. But yeah.
Have you ever got a shower, come out like in the middle of a sandstorm, and you're just like, shit.
Oh yeah. It's miserable.
Like that was.
It's like, why do I even try? Yeah, absolutely. And you can't, like, they give weather. The Air Force, they're the ones that kind of gathered the weather and would send the report out. But you gotta like plan accordingly at that point, because if I would always shower in the morning before work, and then if there's like the wind is bad or the sand is terrible, I'll shower after work. But then you don't realize, walking back to your room, this freaking sand's blown. So you got to take towels and like wrap it around. And I wore sweatpants and like a hoodie and sweatshirt so it wouldn't like get on my skin. Like, one time I came in my room and took like some face wipes and I just wiped down because the sand was so bad, and you could just see the sand in the dirt just from walking like 50 yards.
And you said the sand out there is pure white, so
yeah, it's like a white yellowish. It's very thin, but it's so like on post it's dirty, I guess you could say. It kind of reminds you of being at the beach, but then like out in the middle of nowhere, like off a post, it's very fine and just, it's crazy. It's like, it kind of reminds you of snowdrifts, like, because you're driving on the roads and the sand comes and covers the road. Driving there is insane. I thought I was going to die like 30 times just from driving. Like
just driving through sand?
No. So they have roads, but there's no lines on the roads. They don't have rules. All you got to do is follow the speed limit.
Which is what?
it's in kilometers, so it was 120 kilometers, so like right around 70, 75 miles per hour. But you have people just coming out of the desert, literally driving on the sand and just cut on the road or cut on the highway, and they'll cut you off. They don't use turn signals. Like, you're 6, 7 cars deep. They don't have shoulders. Like, they just go crazy, and it's so much anxiety. And when it rains, there's nowhere for the rain to go. So everything floods. And it kind of reminds me of,
Try the Mexican lager.
okay, it kind of reminds me of being here in the snow.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Where people are used to it, and they're just like, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have videos I'll show you. Like, homeboy was up to his knees in water, and he's just like waving people on, because like you can't. There's nowhere for the water to go. So, driving in it.
Have you seen quicksand or anything like that?
No.
No.
I haven't experienced it or seen it. Thank God. Camels are everywhere, which is really cool. Their camels are like our cows. They're just everywhere you turn. There's a camel.
Are they mean, nice?
They're a little both. It depends. So like, if you kill a camel over there, like say you hit one with your car, you're paying for 3 generations of that camel. So you're looking at about 80 grand. And it's always going to end up being their prize camel, like that makes them all the money. So like to try and get more money.
Mm-hmm.
But like I learned this while I was there. Their white camels are like the high end dollar camels. So you see a lot of white camels everywhere.
What is a camel used for? Like meat?
No, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't really know.
I'm gonna sound really uneducated. Like you can't milk a camel or anything. Like you're not getting anything out of them except meat, right? Transportation is like a horse.
You see this hair color?
I know nothing. All right, so for future, a lot of this military questions and stuff I'm asking because I'm just pure ignorant. I don't know much, so I'm learning through you. But yeah, sorry for the camel questions.
No, it's okay. But they're everywhere. So like if they're in the middle, they'll walk through the desert on the road. And if they're on the road, like you don't have a choice but to sit and wait, because if you hit one,
and they're huge, probably.
Oh my God, they're humongous. But they're cool though. Like, yeah, they spit, but the majority of them, like interactions with like myself or other people, like they'll come right up to you and you can take pictures, you can pet them. And they belong to like a farm, but the guys or the owners like release them to walk around for the day, and then they come back at night to eat. And
this might be another obscure question, but like in our area, like where we are, like if an animal's outside, you have like ticks and fleas and stuff. Is there anything like that in the desert?
Flies and gnats are really bad. Beetles are bad. Scorpions. There were snakes and rats. So like on multiple posts, they'll have like cats they'll run around posts, and you're not allowed to pet them, you're not allowed to feed them, like you can't domesticate them. So there's like an animal control on posts. So the minute they see that these cats are domesticated, I don't know what they do with them. I'll just say that.
Yeah. We're pretty aware of that.
Yeah. So
poor cats.
You can't like pet them or anything, because their job is to help rid of the rats and like try to keep the post like as clean as possible. So I mean, there's really not fleas or ticks, but flies are horrible, especially during rain season. It's really bad.
Don't people talk about like getting bit by flies out there? Like they're bigger?
Oh, I got bit by a couple. Yeah, I actually have a scar.
From a fly bite.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but
right here.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it bit me, and it like swelled up and it was itching, and I kept scratching it, and then it opened up and it just took its own like entity on my hand for months.
Like what's it like? You turn like baby flies start flying.
I know. I was so afraid. I'm like, oh my God, this disgusting thing is on my hand. And everybody's like, what's on your hand? I'm like, it's a fucking bite. Leave me alone. But I felt like what
was your job? Like, what was your, like you said, you go to work. Like, what was your duty while you were overseas?
So my duty specifically was, so our brigade, there's 1,400 people in our brigade. I was in the support operations section, which is SPO. We were there to support pretty much the brigade element and anybody else that would reach out to us, like sister units or like active duty, Army, whoever needed our help, like whichever way we can to help support the cause. My specific job was keeping track of fuel. So that was ground fuel and aircraft fuel. So we were in 9 different locations throughout theater. So we had basically in the morning, like I'd have to look at a report that would reflect certain flights to certain locations. And if they landed at one of the sites that we controlled, I would have to project fuel for that aircraft. Keeping track of the fuel samples to make sure they're good to pump into the aircrafts, what we call on the ground are FARPs, and that's what our aircrafts come in, land, fuel, and go. So I kept track of the accountability at each site, what their equipment was. It was a lot. So myself and my partner, between the two of us, we worked it out. And then you have situations where, a truck will go down or they need a certain part to get that truck up and running to pump the fuel through it. So then my partner and I would have to look around and, order parts, whatever the case may be, to get that truck back up and
So
running.
you're almost like a mechanical?
No, fuel. It's
Okay.
a fuel specialist, technically. Petroleum supply specialist would be
Okay.
it. But originally I went over there to be an automated logistical specialist. That was the position that I was put in. But unfortunately there wasn't a job for that position because everything was being moved via air, and they had already had like people in place for that. So I was kind of like excess. And I had the fueling MOS as a secondary. So they kind of pulled me in from the alpha position in the SPO to the fuel to help out the E7 that was there. That way we could kind of rotate and take a knee for a day or something if need be, or whatever the case may be.
Now, where you were stationed, was it a hot spot? Was it like a spot where there was a lot of activity?
So you don't see it on the news. There's activity regardless of where you go. It's just a matter of what the media wants to show. It wasn't a hot spot, no, but there was stuff going on outside the wire, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
When I was in Iraq, it was I forget when it was, but that was when Erbil had got hit. And they had us on lockdown, I guess. We had to, don our protective gear or whatever for quite a few days. But yeah, I mean, it's no matter where you go, there is stuff going on. It's just a matter of what you see on the media and, what I can actually discuss, I guess you could say.
Yeah. What is the overall, I guess, like when people think of just like overseas is like the good guys and the bad guys, right? So like, but what is like, did you ever learn like the actual, like what created this, what started the war, what like,
No,
what do the locals think of?
So it's very hit or miss. The locals were cool as shit. They're like, believe it or not, a lot of their people, support us and want,
So they're thankful that they're having some sort of
yeah, and then
protection.
you do have those people that don't believe we belong there, and and that's their thought, that's their, everybody has their own opinion. But from what I experienced, the contractors, the civilians, like they were cool, they were very nice, like so friendly. Um, Nothing but great experiences with them, honestly.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times like we're driving on the highway or something from one base to another, and like they're kids, like 16-year-old kids driving Beamers, because their country, like in Kuwait, their country's so rich. So it's from oil, I guess. So like these kids are like giving us thumbs up and like just, waving to us, thanking us, like beeping the horn. And then you have your other people, that don't feel that way, which is fine.
Mhm.
You just kind of got to wave and keep it moving, so to speak.
Yeah. It's interesting because I guess like maybe I'm guilty of this, and then we talked about it before, like where I'm like kind of selfish. Like I don't want these over there. Like be here with us. You know what I mean? Like let them wear their own problems. But then you hear like of a family who's just like, listen, like I feel safe that we have your presence is there. So there is that aspect, I guess, where people don't think of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's like people over there, like at any point you have someone come in that can strong arm them or hurt them or take over what they worked for, everything they got, and their country's not strong enough to take it over. So we're there to kind of be that police force almost. So it kind of not much puts it at ease, but like it's the other side of that coin where it's like you're more thankful because
Yeah.
I don't think people dive in enough about what military presence is actually doing in certain places. You know?
Yeah, and I don't think it's like me personally, somebody said to me, "Why are you doing this? Like, aren't you scared?" I said, "No." I said, "I would rather me go to somebody else's backyard overseas than that come and be in our backyard where the people that I love and care about live.
Yeah. It would be very interesting. Like if like obviously air would be different, but like if a bunch of ships land at like the coast of Maryland.
Ships don't land.
Or
but-
sorry, if ships docked in like the coast of Maryland, like we're gonna like march into Pennsylvania. I don't even know how much of the military presence because everyone owns guns in our country. They'd be like, "Good luck, you're
Well,
not."
they have guns over there too, though.
Yeah.
That's what you have to keep in mind.
Like
So
we have these hunters who can like hit a deer at like 400 yards away with a
Yep.
perfect headshot. It's just
Yep.
like it's like I'm not even trained, but I'm ready. Yeah, it'd be. I don't ever want to see it, but I'm just saying it'd be interesting.
I'm good.
If Americans are really good at murdering people.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm just saying we
Next
dominate.
slide.
Yeah, we dominate in mass shootings and everything. We'll be sign up, go sign up and do things.
Oh God.
Yeah, sorry, that was.
That's all right. I can't. No comment.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think of, like the movies, like where like another country comes over and tries to like fight a battle here. It's just like
Oh yeah.
we have an awesome military, but it's also like we have a lot of civilians who are very
Pro-military and
Pro-military
like,
and
this
one-
is my freedom.
Yeah.
They're supportive of the Second Amendment. All that. Yeah.
It would be it'd be a tough fight.
Yeah.
It'd be
Like
a tough fight for
it's-
another country.
Yeah.
I guess I'm being cocky. Like I just don't think another country.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. But like, it's not like
If they came in the shores, I'm just saying I don't think they would make it like 100 yards inland.
I don't think they can. They don't have that kind of.
No, they wouldn't even
Technology
get the
to-
boat in within eye shot of our seas. Like
I don't know why I just thought of Tom Hanks on Castaway coming in on the wood platform.
yeah,
I don't know.
when we were in San Diego, we were driving down the coast, and there was just these huge cruise ships.
Yeah.
Like not when I say cruise ships, I'm not saying like party. Like I'm talking military cruisers. Like, and they were way out in the horizon, and those ships still looked huge,
Yeah.
and they were way out there. Like so, it's just like, and that was just two of them, and I was like, the range they probably have with the guns and stuff on that, and there's
Mhm.
probably jets and aircraft. It's like if another country got like with the radar and technology, like you wouldn't even see land before you would be
Yeah.
swimming. You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting. I guess that's why the point where we're all worried about like nukes and stuff, because obviously we got to the point technology wise where like you're not coming in manpower anymore. Like those days are, yeah, it's never happening. It's yeah. I have confidence, I guess, in our military. Yeah, Space Force. You shoot unless we're gonna laser it out, Star Wars style.
I should go that route. That would be dope.
My brother, when he joined, I said, "You missed it by like 6 months. You could have been a Jedi." Like, you know what I mean? Because what are the titles you get for the National Guard? Do you get like titles?
Well, there's ranks.
Yeah, the ranking names. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh God, there's so many.
My brother is his ranks were Seaman 1, 2, and 3. And
So it's probably like equivalent to a private for PV2 and a private first class, like E1, 2, and 3.
I just hope that Space Force gets cool. It's like Jedi should definitely be one, right?
Seriously, you're talking
Yes.
about the United States military and you want Jedi in there?
Yes. If we have a Space Force, we better have some cool pop culture reference. It's a time to like start fresh.
Oh my!
I'm gonna petition it. I want Jedi.
Great. Okay.
Jedi 1, Jedi 2.
I'll put a request in.
What-
See where I get.
What is the other one? I'd probably be better if I knew more Star Wars reference, but like Paladins or
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just know like the one movie of Star Wars I love is the one with Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, that's the one everyone hates.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh God, maybe my movie choices are terrible.
Yeah, it's
but
usually I don't know. I know enough about Star Wars to know that that's the one people don't like.
I like it. I don't know.
I have a lighter burn that kind of looks like a Jedi symbol.
Yeah, I see.
That was a
that.
drunk, dumb idiot move. Boys upstairs day. Yeah, that happened. That was a fun day, Sunday fun day after a show.
Oh,
I think it was
God.
after St. Patty's Day. It was a bad choice. But you're enjoying some beers here. You
Yeah.
tried your Moab lager.
Yeah,
You
I
really like that
did.
one?
That was I might just not take this with me.
You can
I'll just drink it here.
Yeah, you can do what you gotta
Uh,
do. What do you think of the Mexican lager?
Let me try again.
It's like a Mexican lager with more flavor.
Yeah.
I'm a lager pilsner. That's like my favorite
It's a
style.
little more. Is this an IPA?
It's
No, it's a lager.
It's a lager, but it does have that West Coast style to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of. It just reminds me of like a little bit of a stronger Corona.
Okay. Yeah, it's a Corona with like, because you have to think when they make Coronas, they mass produce them, so
Yeah.
you lose a little bit of that
The flavor.
and
Yeah.
this is more in smaller batches, so you're getting more of that actual style out.
I dig it.
Yeah.
What's this one? 6. No, 4 point. Is that 4 or 6? Oh my gosh, 4.9.
4.2, 4.62. Well, Shannon over here. No. So, when you're not stationed, what do you do, like occupation wise?
So now that I'm home, I'm actually back to work. I work full time down in Fort Indian Town Gap. I've been down there since 2007 full time.
I think that's what my cousin Johnny does. Johnny Stife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deployed with me.
Oh, he was with you?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Jill's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was deployed with me.
That's my first cousin.
Yep, he was
Yeah.
deployed too.
Jill lives
Bring
right
him
down-
on the show.
I should.
Yeah. So he was in Bravo Company as a mechanic on an aircraft. But
Mhm.
yeah, he was in Kuwait too. So what I do is I work down there full time. I'm a training NCO. So I keep track of all the training that's required for each soldier, like for them to progress in their career, to get promoted, as well as the organization's training as a whole, because Big Army holds us to standard that you have to meet certain requirements per year for training on, specific training, what have you. So like that kind of is my lane, and develop a training plan for the unit with the commander and figure out where we're going. Like right now we're kind of resetting from the mobilization. So we're going to start receiving all of our equipment back. So training's kind of on a hold, but it's nice because I don't have to focus on the organization as a whole, and I can focus more on, the individual soldiers and making sure they're taken care of before they go off to school, and, getting their travel pay done and all that.
Yeah. Now we'll kind of tie it back into beer here, because we were talking about Rotunda
Oh yeah.
earlier on, and you hooked me up. I have the sticker that's on your shirt on my chair here, and then I put the other sticker right here. So this is your Task Force Roadrunner sticker.
Yeah. So our brigade was Task Force Anvil, and then our sister. So like they're like the top of the umbrella, and then you square off like to other task force, which is at a battalion level, which is my battalion. We were Task Force Roadrunner, and then our sister unit was Task Force Coyote.
As I said, there better be a coyote.
There is, yeah. So it was all like, related around Looney Tunes, so to speak. So it was cool.
Are you the smarter brigade because you always outsmart the coyote?
I can't say that in case somebody of higher rank is listening, but
it's a joke. It's it's a pop culture joke.
But it's really not. So it was really cool because like we're based out of Anvil, PA. So the fact that like our brigade was Task Force Anvil for everybody as a whole was pretty cool. There was
you should get an Acme, like the Looney Tunes Acme Anvil on one of your guns.
No, I'm good.
No?
No.
No?
No.
You don't want no military
That's what
tattoos?
the sticker's for.
Just slap a sticker on your
No, I don't care to get a tattoo like to recognize the deployment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have an idea on what I want to get, and I just it's not for me. Like I have stickers, I have shirts, that's enough. I don't need to brand my body with
You're probably still pulling sand out of your ears.
and my nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a good experience. It was a great learning experience. The people were awesome. The people I worked for were awesome. I don't know.
Is Johnny also part of this Roadrunner team?
He is.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
So
he is.
that's cool. That's
Oh, wait.
Adele.
Is he?
He's a coyote.
He might be Coyote.
What an idiot.
I don't know. I think he's Bravo Company though. I'm not sure. You have to check with him. He might be a Roadrunner. If
I hope
he's
he's
not,
a
he's Coyote.
I'm gonna call
But
him
we
Coyote.
did have the Spanish Army. They were Task Force Toro. They were really cool. And then we had a Task Force Chicken Hawk. And I think
Were they the Foghorn Leghorn character?
I don't know. I never saw their task force like emblem or anything, so I'm not sure.
Chicken Hawk was a little.
Oh yeah, they were the little
guy.
Yes, they were.
I'm a Chicken Hawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was cool. They do these T-walls, we call them. So they're like basically crazy oversized, like 12-foot barriers, Jersey barriers. And each, task force painted their own and like did their own little thing. Each company did their own little thing. So like we were my company, we were the HSC Scorpions. You're
That sounds dope.
welcome. Actually, I thought of it. Thank you. And I'll tell you the reason behind
The Scorpions?
That. Yeah.
Are you going hair metal on me?
No.
Okay.
So we were down in Texas for our pre-mob, and my first sergeant, her bunk was next to mine in the barracks, and she reached down into her laptop bag to get her notebook, and she like quick pulled her hand out. She's like, "Oh, something bit me." And I was like, "Are you sure you didn't just like stab your finger on a notebook?" She's like, "No, something got me." And she's like, "Oh my God." And she's like freaking out. So I go over to the bag and I like pick it up, like just open it to look. And there's a scorpion like crawling across her notebook. So I like quick closed it, zipped it up. So ironically, we did not have a mascot at the time, but every other company did. Like we had the Alpha Company Alpha Company. Their like motto was "Ride the Lightning." Our Bravo Company Pirates, Charlie Company had something else, I forget, but we didn't have anything. So I said to her a couple days later, I'm like, "I don't know if this is too soon and I might get in trouble for this, but I think we should be the HSC Scorpions." And she just kind of looked at me, and I'm thinking at this point she's going to make me do push-ups or something. And she's just like, "I love it." So it's stuck ever since. And she's like, "But now you need to come up with a motto." So I had to come up with
Rock you like a hurricane.
No, strike fast, strike hard. So it kind of stuck. And then next thing you know, like it took off. We got approval like through our higher commands and so on. We had to make sure that nobody else was using that call sign while overseas, and they
Holy
weren't.
crap.
So like it was this big thing, and now we are known as the HSC Scorpions.
What was the experience like for her? What was like getting bit by a scorpion?
So she was good. She said it stung a little more than, so it's a very common scorpion that's non-lethal, non-toxic.
I could be wrong, but I don't think
Texas.
there's any scorpions in our country that are strong enough to like kill you.
I don't know.
I think they suck. Like you get bit, it's not gonna be a good time.
Yeah. So for her, she said it was just like a sting, like a bee sting intensified, a couple more times. But after about probably I'd say an hour, like she was getting tingleness up her arm for about an hour or so. We just sat her down, gave her water. The doc came and checked her out, and she was fine.
Yeah.
I think we gave her a Benadryl just
essentially
in
to try to push you in paralysis, like when it bites, like when it attacks.
Yeah, so like she said she felt it like up in here, but then like it stopped, and like you could see like she did get a little redness, but gave her Benadryl. An hour later she was good, and then she went for a checkup the next day and everything was fine.
Didn't
and then
turn to a zombie or anything.
No, and then a couple days later one of our second lieutenants got a scorpion bite, and you would think it was the end of the world, and I'm like, you should check out our first sergeant. She handled it like a champ.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always give each other shit. Like if you're not giving somebody shit, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Being from School County, you probably you fit really like a glove there.
Oh yeah. I think I offend people sometimes. Like sometimes I catch myself, do I need to like tone it back a little bit? But no.
That's
like,
I think I feel doing a podcast. Like I always tell people like, listen, we're a School County podcast.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta understand.
Yeah. And I use normal humor that would offend people. I use as a coping mechanism to get me through a situation that's uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, so I may like make a joke, but I'm not trying to be offensive. Like,
yeah,
I'm very pro everybody.
Oh, I don't have a filter. So they gave me a nickname while we were gone. So real name is Taryn, obviously, Taryn. So I like was just in this mood, and like I was snipping at people. Like I was not pulling it back at all. Like it was just full blown. Like I was saying what people thought, and I just didn't care what rank you were, nothing. Like it was a bad day. Like I probably could have gotten a lot of trouble. So the first sergeant and my other friend Colleen, they gave me the alter ego of Taryn. So then it kind of just carried on. I feel like I rubbed off on, my friend Nancy and then my other friend Colleen. I feel like it kind of just spread a little bit. So like Nancy was known as Noni, Colleen was known as Colette, and it just kind of like took its own, like entity. And every now and again, like you would hear me snip and you just hear somebody say, "Oh, Taryne's out." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Like and I'm like, "No, like she's not out." Like just being sarcastic and giving people shit. Like that's what I do. But automatically people don't know me that way. So they're like, "Oh, Taryne's out." And I'm like, "No, like I'm just going to stop."
So what is your goal? Like with the National Guard, are you looking to do longer term? Like is this the retire, like going to retire, or?
I'm going to go as long as they'll have me. So I'm in 17 years now. Oh my God, I'm aging myself. Yes, I'm 34. High five. So I'm in 17 years. I mean, I can retire with 20. So like I started out National Guard. So I recently went active guard in 2016. And then I have like 8, orders, like active duty orders prior to that kind of add up. I can retire with the full 20 years when I'm 46. But I'm just going to go until the Army
at
says
46, switch branches. Space Force.
I can't. They won't take me.
Go Space Force, and then
there's an age limit, buddy.
With the blonde hair, you could be the next Captain Marvel.
That would be dope. No, I want to be Wonder Woman. She's so hot. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. We were in Vegas, and actually, I have a military Vegas story, and then I have, just because you said Wonder Woman, me and my wife were walking down the strip, and there was a woman who was dressed as Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And we were both like, this is the most attractive human being we've ever seen in our entire lives. And nobody was near her.
Don't even tell me it was her.
No, this girl was Wonder Woman, but like the comic book version where she was super curvy. And this girl was made in a factory. She wasn't real.
Okay.
And then literally 5 steps down was a woman with pasties on and a diaper. And she was probably 350 pounds. And she had everyone on the Vegas Strip just surrounding her, just throwing money at her.
What the hell?
I think the girl who was dressed as a woman was too attractive that she was intimidating people.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a shame.
And then later on that night, we go to the MGM Grand, and we're all hanging out. I was just kind of like, I was just bar hopping, and my wife was just like, I fucking hate this because she doesn't drink. And
so she was just folling you and supporting you.
She was just like, I'm gonna make sure you get home okay. Just babysitting at this point. So we go into. Are you in the living room? She went upstairs with the dog. Anyway, we go into this bar, and there's these like 5 gentlemen, and they're all just like supermodels. And I was like, oh fuck, right? So of course I spark up conversation, and now they have British accents.
Oh,
yeah, they're
deal breaker.
They're batting 1,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
all in. Here's all my chips.
Yeah, and they, I'm like, oh, what are you guys doing in Vegas? And they're like, we're British military, and we're just we're on like a break, or they called it a holiday.
Holiday, yes.
And they just came to Vegas to hang out for the night.
Yeah.
And like Hadi was just like, wow, these are some good looking dudes. And I was just like,
we're going.
I was like, we're gonna get out of here before this turns into a Pornhub video.
So
when I'm in the corner crying.
Listen, when I was in Qatar, when I was there, the Spanish were there and the British were there. And the British, they love to party.
Oh yeah, I was drinking with them for like 4 hours.
Oh my God. So they had like a live band there. Like they have their own little compound like in the middle of base. So like you got to walk around like to get to places, whatever. So they had this live band and I was like, well, fuck, they sound awesome. And this was like right before Christmas. So I sat like on a picnic table right outside their compound. And
are you allowed to go in there?
No, it's by invite only. Like you have to be escorted in. So like I was just sitting there like enjoying the music, just hanging out. And then one of the guys came out and he's like, oh, do you want to come in? And he's like, you're more than welcome to, because they have beer in their compound. Their rules don't apply. Like the post rules don't apply to them because they're their own.
I'd be switching countries right then and there.
I'm telling you. So I was so tempted to go, but I didn't. I was like, no, I'm waiting for my friends because like you don't want to put yourself in a situation like here I am, this little 5-foot female walking into a live band, there's beer, and like they were having a good time, and you know, good for them. But I was just content sitting there listening to the music. So
I want to like bring up bad things here, but just a question I have. Obviously, being a female in the military, you always hear the stories where women get taken advantage of or horrible things happen to women in the military. So like that's a thing too, where now you're going to be possibly going into a spot where they're from a different country.
Yeah. So I actually was the battalion victim advocate for sexual harassment and sexual assault victims. It's like a serious role. Like there's a lot of training involved. So fortunately, I did not have a case of sexual assault or anything like that, which is good.
It's very good.
However, the numbers that we had received from the previous year, the numbers are higher overseas than they are in our own country, just because of some cultures overseas, they don't recognize rape like we do. Like here, it's a taboo, right? Not there. They don't understand, I guess, or they don't think of it the way that you and I would. Like, no, that is an absolute no-go. They don't.
Are you talking about from people in other country?
Yes. So like some countries don't recognize it. It's not illegal, so they can just do whatever they want. And they
Holy
don't
shit.
understand that for us, like, that's not okay. So, unfortunately, there were a lot of cases throughout theater and overseas. I can't sit here and tell you whether it was a foreign military on a U.S. military or, I don't have those kind of details. But so like one of the things that I did over there was travel around and train our soldiers specifically, like, here's what to, looking for the signs, get to know your battle buddy. If you notice a change in their behavior, maybe something happened, getting them the resources that they needed to get them comfortable enough that if something does or did happen, they know where to go and what resources they have available to them.
Do you have more of the male sides of our military kind of like looking out and helping out as well?
Yeah, for the most part, like
because you would hope like going through these
like
hard times, things
it's like
do get better.
It's like a brother-sister relationship. You do have, a lot of the guys that look out for the females. But again, like a lot of the females, they can handle their own too. So like there were quite a few females that before we had left purchased themselves like pocket knives and stuff, and they carried it everywhere. Before we had arrived in country, we were told that there wasn't a sexual assault on the airfield, which is where we were. So a lot of the females went like they kind of, I don't want to say freaked out, but they're like, okay, this is serious. I need to protect myself. So they would go to the PX and buy like, a pocket knife or whatever. And then later on, it came out that the story was fabricated. So, you don't want to let your guard down, but it kind of made you feel a little bit more comfortable to know that it wasn't true. And there really is not like somebody out there
like
targeting women.
Yeah.
Exactly. But again, like you always have to watch your six there regardless. So like we tried to push.
I do that in bars all the time. Like I don't want to like intrude in people's shit, but like you'll be at a bar and like I'll have a couple of drinks, but obviously from drinking 9-10% beers all my whole life, like it doesn't take me. It takes me a lot more to get to that point. And then I'll be sitting there watching. I'm like, oh my God, I hope she realizes this dude's kind of being weird right now. Like,
so you're like that. You're doing that bystander intervention, and that's what we like preach on. Overseas, if you see something and it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. So that's when we like encourage the bystander intervention, whether it's a direct approach, indirect. Pulling the person completely from the situation, directing the conversation somewhere else, whatever the case may be. That was like a huge success for us because we did receive positive feedback on quite a few incidences where our soldiers did intervene and they, produced, or I don't want to say produce, but they, put that bystander intervention into action that they had learned from myself and my partner. That, it's okay to step in and stand up. If it's a misunderstanding, it's better than, God forbid you don't step in and something does happen.
I had two situations where I was at a bar and there was somebody being really pushy to a girl. And I went up and did like, hey, hon, how you doing? Are you ready to go home soon? And then like, I'm like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And the girl kind of looked at me and I was like, she's like, yeah, we're going to head out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, listen, I'm not really trying to pick up you up. Like, I'm a married man, but you were in some situation there. And I didn't want you to go through that. And I did that actually with a bartender one time where there was a guy at the bar who was like, what time you get off? What time you get off? What time you leaving? What time you leaving? And I was like, yo, when isn't your fiance picking you up later? Like me and him are going to.
Why is this guy asking?
Yeah. And then she was just like, and she immediately went with it. And then that guy was like, oh, I didn't know. And then I was like, yeah, I'm best friends with her fiance. I don't even know her name. And I just kind of like made a
Went with
scenario up,
it, yeah.
and she was just like, "Thank you." Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you. Because it's unfortunately like, a lot of people they don't want to speak up because they have this mentality of it's not my business.
yeah,
But,
I hate that.
if you
Hate
make
it.
it your business, you could potentially prevent, something from happening and somebody else being scarred for the rest of their life.
Mhm.
Like so yeah, that was like a big, thing overseas that I was involved with. And it was cool. So I just redid my packet to renew my license. Just to continue on. I've been doing it for 2 years now and continuing on with it.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that's I guess you could say an other duty is assigned. I don't know what, whatever.
So besides the military, we'll do a quick little thing here before we get you out of here. What are some other things you like in hobby? Like, what are some personal things you're into? Like we were talking about movies, comic books, stuff like that. Like, what are some things that spark your interest?
Oh God.
Like sports wise,
You
anything?
really put me on the spot. I love football. Go Bengals. I know everybody's
been noticing
laughing
a
at
lot.
me. Look at that right there. Everybody's probably laughing at me. I am super stoked to see how the Bengals do this
How did you
season.
land as a Bengals
We're
fan
not going to talk about that.
in Pennsylvania? Well, you're
No,
from Maryland.
I'm from Maryland, so you would think I was a Ravens fan, right?
Mhm.
Nope. No, Bengals.
The colors, right?
So it started out like
And that's
I
that's not because you're a girl. I just said the
No,
colors.
it started out like I was just so impressed. Like I love their uniforms. But then like I started my ex-husband like started to take me out to Cincinnati for, for practice weeks, whatever. We go to games and then just like really getting involved and seeing what they do outside of the organization really like hit home for me. And the way they interact with their fans, like Pac-Man Jones follows me on Instagram. It's awesome. A lot of people
cool,
hate
but
him
also
now.
scary.
Yeah. A lot of people hate him now, but like he's actually I don't mind him. Like he follows me. It's not like he's liking everything, but um it's just really cool like to see what they do outside the organization. I'm super stoked to see Burrow come back.
Sorry about that, by the way.
I
As
know.
as a Washington fan, I
Oh
apologize.
my God. So listen to this. We were overseas and one of my captains was like, "Oh, what happened to the Bengals last night? Blah, 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 blah." So like we have to watch the games at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because we were 8 hours ahead.
Mhm.
So we when he had said that to me, I had said to him, I'm like, you know what, man? I was like, I don't want to talk about it. Our O-line needs to get their shit together or he's going to end up just like Carson Palmer was. And a month later, that happened.
Chase
and
Young, he's an animal.
he came in and he's like, "Oh, what happened to your Bengals?" And I looked at him and I said, "Get the fuck out of my office right
I
now."
will cut you.
And he's like, "What?" And he's like laughing. I was like, "I fucking told you a month ago. We had this conversation and it, like a light bulb went off." He's like, "Oh my God, you totally did. You totally said that." I'm like, "Get out." I was like, "Today is not the day."
I'm pretty excited because I feel like my team is actually good now.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. And we have one of the best defenses in the league. Pretty pumped.
That's awesome.
Pretty pumped to be a Washington football team fan. And we're getting a new name this year.
Yeah, what do you think it's gonna be?
I don't know. I seen a few different ones put out there. I heard rumor that they're gonna go with a military name, which I'm
Oh.
cool with. The Red Tails was thrown out there. So the Red Tails would be the first African American Air Force troop.
Okay.
They made a movie about them and stuff.
Somebody will find a twist on that somehow and be offended.
I personally would hope they don't go anywhere near any of that. Like, I don't want, for a while there, I was like, I hope they don't do some stupid animal name, right? But that's
Well, why don't they just do it like the Nationals? You have the Washington Nationals baseball team, so why not just keep that?
the same name? Like
Not the same name, but like the same.
the Senators was one they were talking about, maybe the Senators or something like that. But the one I want the most is I want the Red Wolves.
Okay, yeah,
Because then you can keep the HTTR, like Hail to the Red Wolves.
yeah.
You can keep the R. So if you want to do the old school R, you can keep that. I understand, like as a fan, I gravitated that team because of the Native American culture, and it was cool to like see that represented.
Yeah.
And a part of me doesn't want Native American culture to go away, even though I understand that the connotation is like we're not your mascot, and I understand that. But I'm also in fear that you don't want your culture to be erased. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For the same thing, like when you think warrior, like the Native American warriors were a fierce tribe. Like they were very good warriors. Like same with Spartans, same with like, you don't want to, just because they weren't always the greatest people the way they
You
did
don't want
their
to
war.
erase it completely. Yeah.
Battle sports. And so when you want to represent figures of battle. So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I kind of don't want to get rid of that altogether. So if you're going to erase the Native American face and the name, a lot of Native American culture is when they pass on, they reincarnate. And a lot of times in
Ooh.
reincarnation with Native Americans, they do it with wolves. So I think
Oh,
it'd be
that's
cool
dope.
to be the
Yeah.
red wolves because you're still keeping the Native American culture, but now it's a reincarnation.
Of the Redskins.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
really
cool.
hoping for, but I don't know if it's gonna stick.
Ooh.
A lot of
I'm
fans are
pulling
really
for ya.
a lot of fans are really
Are they
politicians
gonna
for that.
are they gonna let the fans vote for it, or
Yeah, they're
just
doing a
gonna...
huge campaign
Okay,
online right now.
that's cool.
Like people are making logos and like they're getting free shit sent to
Yeah,
them left
right?
and right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I seen the Washington Heritage where
I
they
don't like that.
but they keep it all Native American themed.
No, I don't like that
I'm not
name.
a fan either, but
Like, what would your mascot be?
I don't even want one.
Like a freaking, I don't even know, like a beaver or something? Like, what do you...
I don't know.
Heritage, like,
Well,
what
a
do you
wolf
even
would just be cool, just a wolf.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, but like heritage, what would you
Yeah, you definitely can't use a Native American
like
person.
$100 bill or something? I don't know.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm pulling for. And we got Fitzmagic, which is like one of the most gorgeous men in the NFL right now.
He's all right.
That beard, that's
It's a little much.
it's awesome.
Don't get me wrong, I love a beard, like I love a scruff look, but that's a little much.
That thing is just
It's
majestic.
excessive. That thing has it should have its own Instagram page.
He looks like he should work for Barstool.
He really does.
I love him. And then Chase Young, like the big dreads, looks like Predator, and he's terrifying.
Oh, I know.
I love it to death.
Yeah, that's
and we did
cool.
pretty well in the draft. And all my friends are Philadelphia Eagles fans, so I'm kind of hoping
Okay.
we're good for a while, so I can kind of kick some dirt on them for a bit.
That would be nice. That's how I am. Like overseas, like it's all fucking Steelers fans.
They suck too. That's
Oh
why
my God,
when they
like,
were undefeated and we beat
oh.
them, I was ecstatic.
It's either the Steelers or the Eagles, and like the Steelers fans are so much more worse than the Eagles fans.
Really?
For like in this situation, like overseas. So when the Bengals beat the Steelers in this previous season,
Your division, so Steelers, Bengals. Okay,
right.
that makes sense for you.
Yeah, and same thing with Ravens. Like it's always like our division is like one of the toughest. I don't want to say toughest divisions, but like as far as rivalries, it's like literally it's terrible. Anyway,
you're also talking about NFC East.
no.
Rivalry is pretty rough between the Cowboys,
Okay.
Giants, and Eagles.
I know, like I'm aware of the Eagles and the Cowboys.
It's normally Eagles and Giants are really bad.
Okay.
And Washington and I almost said the taboo name. And Washington and Dallas are really big rivals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the dude that was giving me shit about Burrow's knee comes I come into work the next day after this, the Bengals beat the Steelers, and I sit at my desk and my big boss leaves a little sticky note, "Harris, you're fired. Thank you, management." And I was like, "Oh my God, what did I fuck up?" Like I'm thinking I screwed something up. I'm not even thinking about the football game at this point. So I go in to the office.
Can you get fired overseas?
No.
No. Is
No.
that even a thing?
But this is like what's going through. Like I'm catastrophizing at this point, like thinking worst case scenario, like, oh my God, I fucked up somewhere. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get sent home. I don't know what's going on. So I walk into my captain's office who was giving me shit earlier, and he looks at me and I just went like this, put my hands on my hips. I went, "What happened?" And he's like, "Get the fuck out." I was like, no. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk it out. And he's
Who's
like,
your college team?
Notre Dame.
Not me too.
Yeah.
I actually just went there a couple months last year.
I have never been there.
It's amazing.
It is a dream of mine to get out there. So I am gonna try hard. God willing, with COVID and everything calming down, I am hoping to get out there this season.
It was we got super, super lucky. We went to go see them when they played Bowling Green, which we knew they were gonna kill them.
Yeah.
And it was like a 70-0 game.
Yeah.
But the same game we went out to, Chicago, the band Chicago was there.
Oh, that's like a double win.
And Chicago played with their marching band.
Stop it. That is so
the
cool.
Notre Dame marching band played Chicago hits.
That's dope.
That's
cool.
Sick.
I'm jealous.
If you do go, I highly, highly recommend going to someone who's been there before.
Okay.
Because if you go to someone who's been there a few times, they know where the spots to go at certain times.
Okay.
We had a really good tour guide who went with us. I don't know what it's called, but when you go into the actual Golden Dome, at a certain time you have to get their super, because we got their super. I'm like, why are we standing in this fucking
Yeah.
and they're like,
the
no.
band goes in and plays.
The band goes in and they each take a floor and they play the trumpets.
Yeah.
And it's magical.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So definitely go with somebody who
I'm
knows
gonna
all the
have to.
spots. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's really cool too because they have they don't sell food outside of the stadium. So when they do sell food, but it's not like you walk up and there's like a food vendor here.
Right.
Everything is done by the school's clubs.
Okay.
So
that's cool. It's like student driven.
And I was really, really proud because obviously it's a very big Catholic school. And even though I'm not super on the religious side, but I still like the school.
Yeah.
They had the ND Pride Club, and it was like members, like there was people in like their full band, and they had their rainbow stuff on.
Oh wow.
And well, it is Pride Month as well, but like I actually have a pair of glasses where it's like ND and it has like the shamrock as a rainbow.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
I got this from the Ally sticker.
Okay.
That was from Notre Dame. And I was just like, you're in a Catholic school, and they're like acknowledging their pride here.
Yeah.
And it was like,
that's
I think
really
they call
cool.
them it's ND Prism is their name.
Oh.
That's their name of their club. And I was like, and you go up and you buy like hot dogs and hamburgers from them. And then whatever they sell for their food and drink and chips helps fund their clubs.
That's really cool.
While you're walking around, you can get food, but your food is actually helping the clubs of the school.
That's really cool.
I thought it was a cool aspect, but it's a beautiful campus. It's in the middle. It's kind of like driving through Hazleton, and then all of a sudden, like they drop Notre Dame in the middle of it. Like it's not like a very impressive surrounding town,
right?
And then you just
it's like a postcard. Like one side is it looks great, and then you turn around.
Oh,
from the
potholes
camera
everywhere. Yeah, it's a long drive. We drove out, and then the other cool thing is they don't really care about like you can walk to this like campus with beer, and they don't really fuck with you.
Oh wow!
Like you can walk through the town on game day, and no one bothers you. We did an Airbnb of a townhouse, and then just walk to the stadium.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do is go more towards like the Airbnb side and then just be like in walking distance of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely do it. It was good. And go to a game where they're going to beat the shit out of somebody because the tickets are super cheap.
See, I'm weird. Like I almost went down to Virginia Tech when they played Virginia Tech a couple years ago because I like a good game.
Yeah.
But I ended up not going because nobody wanted to go. And I was like, well, I'm not going to make that trip by myself. Like, because then I'm really not going to be able to enjoy myself. Like, I'll enjoy myself. But it's different when you take somebody with you and get to experience it together. So I ended up not going, and I regret it.
Yeah. But they actually played Notre Dame versus Navy, and they used FedEx Field where Washington plays one year.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was going to go.
I really want to... Like, I think it's a bucket list thing to just get overseas when they play overseas.
Oh, in Ireland.
Yeah. Yep.
I think my aunt did that. She doesn't even watch football, which is kind of, well, she does. She's a Steelers fan, but she doesn't count.
Yeah.
But
the Steelers.
Anything else you want to put out there or talk about before we get out of here?
No, I thank you for this opportunity. It's awesome. Fun? Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully the 14 people that
all 14 people will listen. They're going to love it.
I hope so.
And you can share it. It'll be on Facebook, YouTube.
Okay.
Anywhere you listen. Spotify. You'll be on Spotify now.
Wait, what?
Like you're going to be on Spotify.
That's too
much.
Like
you're going to type your name into Spotify and it's going to pop up. How do you feel about that?
I'm not familiar with Spotify.
Or what do you use for music?
Pandora.
Maybe. I don't think I'm on Pandora.
Am I outdating myself right now?
Yeah, Pandora, like you let music, they pick the music for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spotify, you can like pick your own shit.
See, I'm so...
You like radio. You like the radio.
Can we
aspect.
Rewind to when you told me to send you pictures and I said just pick something off my Facebook?
Did I do a good job?
You did great, but like I am the most indecisive person. Like just play whatever. I don't care. Pick whatever.
What kind of music do you like?
I like a little bit of everything, honestly. Like I'm really into country.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, like I don't know. I listen to everything, honestly.
I'm slowly getting more into country.
Yeah.
I really like who's that did the Tennessee whiskey? Chris Stapleton, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have that like twangy I kiss my sister. Like I don't like I hate that. Like I hate that.
Well,
so
I don't
much.
know about anybody that's kissing their sister.
Everyone in country music kisses.
That is so false.
They're a lot of make fun of.
I love Luke Combs. He talks about drinking beer, having a good time,
smacking his wife.
No,
he probably does. Though.
Luke Combs is awesome. Don't you dare talk shit on Luke.
Who's the creepy one? The real creepy guy. They always pick on him, and oh shit. Garth Brooks.
Oh,
Like,
I
it's
don't know. I
creepy.
don't listen to him.
He's
I
fucking
love
creepy.
Luke Combs. He's my current obsession. Well, right
Zach
now.
Brown, I like a lot.
I like Zach Brown. Yep. I like
Who's the one my wife listens to? Just because he's very attractive. I think he's like Hispanic or something. Kane.
Brown.
Yeah.
He's decent. He's got a very deep voice.
Yeah.
Very deep. He's okay looking.
She's into him. That's her thing.
Yeah.
She like because of him, she listens to country, and I don't know how I feel about it.
You have nothing to worry about.
No.
Dude's married.
I mean,
I think he's having a kid now too.
yeah, but like everyone has their celebrity crush.
Yeah, I know I do.
Who's your celebrity crush
Oh,
besides
God.
Gal Gadot?
Scarlett Johansson.
Good pick.
Mila Kunis. Male wise, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
I just love that long
If I had to
hair.
pick my male crush, Mark Wahlberg all day long, and Jason Momoa. I just think
Okay.
he doesn't look like he looks like he is legit a god. Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he does. He looked like he was just like chiseled out of a rock and then just came to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look like he's real.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Female. Mine's go. I'm gonna go back to our time. I was obsessed with Maya. Remember Maya?
Yes.
Loved Maya.
Okay.
Do you remember Love and Basketball?
I never watched it.
You know who the actress is though?
No, I never saw the movie.
She was my jam.
Okay. Do I need to like Google this when I leave?
I always get afraid because I don't know like people like Billie Eilish is really pretty, but I think she's also like 19, so I don't want to count her.
I don't know.
I'm like 30. I can't say that shit.
She reminds me of our Avril Lavigne day.
Yeah, I
Like,
I like
she's
her
today's Avril
personality because
Lavigne.
she doesn't give a shit
Yeah.
type deal.
She gives me that Avril Lavigne vibe. Like when we
I wasn't
grew
into
up.
Avril though, and I
was.
loved emo girls.
I was into Avril and Blink 182.
love Blink.
I love Blink.
My favorite band. I want to get a Blink 182 tattoo.
Okay.
I just don't know which one I want
Yeah.
yet. I don't know if I want the smiley face with the arrows or I want the bunny.
I want to get a sleeve in the worst way, but my arms, I have the arms of a 12-year-old, if you guys can't see that.
Look at those guns.
Yeah, right. I'm so afraid like my arms are too small for a sleeve for what I want.
No, you'll be fine.
No, they're so tiny and gross.
We'll put
My
ink in them.
12-year-old is bigger than I am.
Put ink in them.
I know,
Tat them
but
up.
I'm huge on black and white. I love black and white.
Okay.
But what I want is just not, I don't know.
I will say this. I'm not trying to sway you out of your black and white, but the people at Abaddon are so good at color.
Yeah, see, I don't
That
like
American,
color.
they do that. Like, well, they can do anything you want, but their American traditional style, that old
Mhm.
school, like Navy, like sailor pinup stuff,
Mhm.
is what a lot of them shine on, and they're so good at it.
Yeah, I like black and white, and I would be okay with a little bit of red.
Okay. Like a little Sin City.
Yeah.
I like
Mhm.
it.
I don't, whatever.
I was actually supposed to go see Blink-182. So my first two bands that like I picked myself growing up was Blink-182 was my first band,
Mhm.
and Linkin Park.
Okay.
Love Linkin Park.
Oh, wow.
And they were supposed to do a show. They did two shows together, one in New York and one in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
I had tickets to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania. The Thursday before the show,
He
Chester killed himself.
killed himself. Yeah,
I
there was
devastated.
quite a few people I worked with that
Heartbroken.
were supposed to go to that.
Yeah, we were in Vegas. You ever gone to Vegas?
Mhm.
Like Fremont Street. Sorry,
I already told you I was in Vegas.
I know I forgot. Fremont Street, where they have the light board.
Yes.
So you know how every like so many like they turn all the lights turn off and they do like a show.
Yes.
So all the lights turn off. Everyone's like, oh, what are they gonna do? And all you hear is the keyboard at the
Oh
end.
my God, I just got the chills.
Dude,
That's crazy.
everyone was like putting their phones up and like
Oh
crying.
my
And this was like
God.
3 or 4 years, like no, way longer after he died. But like his impact still, like
Yeah.
him and Chris Cornell, just like
Yeah.
you hear him do that "Nothing Compares to You" song.
Every
Chris
time
Cornell.
you hear their voices, like you can't help but to get the chills.
they're so like there's no one that sounds like them.
Yeah.
They just have that iconic
Yep.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I just watched the Dirt movie again too. Speaking of music and TV, I always watch on Netflix the Dirt with Motley Crue. I fucking love it. I want 80s hair metal to come back. That's why I keep my hair long just in case it's a style that
I
comes
don't think
back.
it's coming back, buddy.
I want to wear eyeliner.
I don't know, but then again, I never thought scrunchies would come back, and here we are.
Yeah, I want to wear eyeliner and tight leather pants.
I will punch you in the face.
I think I look good in eyeliner.
No.
I'm gonna do the eye like the smoky My Chemical Romance eyes because I didn't do it when I was a fan in high school. I stayed away from it.
No.
I didn't fully commit,
Don't do it.
and I should have.
Don't ever commit. Don't do it.
I wear skinny jeans sometimes. I just like them.
Who are
I
you?
like them. I'm an emo kid, man. I was a hidden emo kid who played
Are
football.
you gonna start like breaking out those USO pants that were like crazy?
Well,
That were crazy
the
popular.
Jinko ones.
The
Jenko.
big like baggy ones.
Yeah,
that
Jenko
peop-
jeans.
Yeah, no, not jeans. They were
Like
they were kind of like rave pants.
like the Hardy Boys pants with all the
No,
pockets.
they were, the brand was USO. They were like baggy and like all these crazy different colors.
I never wore those.
Okay.
No. I miss.
You know what I'm talking about.
I
though,
couldn't
right?
pick a trend to wear growing up because I was poor.
I
So,
always wore jeans and hoodies.
yeah, I was a jeans
I
hoodie.
mean, I wore a t-shirt for crying
and
out
all
loud.
my shirts had like some type of print on it. Like if it was either video game or pro wrestling or something.
Right.
Like I still like to this day, I'm wearing like every shirt I wear is like pro wrestling.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
He's just what was it? 2 days ago or a day ago, he's doing there's a new show out that like interviews old.
It's called Dark Side of the Ring.
That's what
It's
it
an
is.
amazing show. Even if you're
Okay.
not into wrestling, the stories are unbelievable.
Yep, that's what it was. Because
Yeah.
he said he was like petrified of snakes, and then the bell rings, and they get him like it was a different.
Did you ever hear his story that on Rogan where the night? Well, you know that Macho Man Randy Savage when he put the snake on Macho Man's arm and it was a king cobra. They
No.
devenomized a king cobra, and then the storyline was he had to go out and put the snake on Macho Man's arm.
Oh my god.
But Macho Man was paranoid and on a lot of drugs, so he made Jake the Snake have the snake bite him before they even went out in front of the crowd.
Oh hell.
So
no.
Jake the Snake had to fire the snake up and have it bite him, and then Macho Man made sure that he didn't die before he went out and did it. Yeah, those snakes did not go through great treatment during the 80s and 90s of professional wrestling. A lot of them did not survive the trips.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, shit, in the 80s and 90s, like, look at today. We would go outside and ride bikes all day, and then when the street lights came on, we were home.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like I struggle just to get my kid out of her bedroom and off her phone.
Well, here's the thing too. I'm this is me coming from like the not parent side, but like a lot of parents who don't. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying a lot of parents don't let their kids go out and play because they're terrified that like everyone outside is a pedophile kidnapper.
Yeah, you do have that too. But how about what happened to like leaving the house and doing things with your kids? Like, okay, I got it. COVID was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm still dealing with that for her. Like, she's still going through some shit because COVID was a really big hit. But
does she have like still like stuff going? 'Cause I know some people who get it and they still have like.
So I don't want to get too far into it, but like you pull a kid's mom away from them, like her and I
During a pandemic.
Yeah.
Where people are dying from it.
It's not even that. Like, okay, the pandemic starts. Whatever. I'm home with her every day working from home. And then I just up and leave one day for a year. It's a lot for a 12-year-old to leave a mom or a dad for, you know, such a long period of time when you're used to seeing them every day. Like with me, it was a little harder for her because I'm a single parent. So, you know, like I'm with her all the time, like, you know, raising her. My parents are helping me in the process. So it's hard to just leave one day and then she has this thought process of when am I going to see my mom again?
Mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic hits hardcore and then she gets it. And then, you know, virtual schools, no sports, no extracurricular activities. And then she was failing school. So I made my mom take her cell phone away from her because the rule is the cell phone came because you were making honor roll and you were involved in sports. Well, you're failing and you're not in sports, so you don't need your phone. So that was a learning curve for me as a parent because here I am halfway across the world
Trying to parent
to an extent. Like I trust my parents to make the right decisions, but that was my hard role is if you are failing and you're not in a sport, the whole point of you getting that phone was because you were passing and in one. So when I took that from her, you know, I didn't think she needs that social interaction with her friends, you know, to kind of help keep that balance. So she was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And, you know, my mom had said, hey, you know, I talked to a counselor, like we're getting her the help she needs, obviously. But she's like, the counselor had mentioned maybe try giving her the phone for like an hour a day just to see. And I was like, okay, like whatever I need to do to get my kid to feeling better. And so that's what we did. And now she's like excelling again.
Yeah.
I'm home. She's like, her grades have improved tremendously. Like her mental health is starting to get back to where it needs to be, but like it really took a toll on her.
The phone and technology is such a double-edged sword because it's such a good thing
Mhm.
for some things. But like I always tell people, like, it's like I hate social media because every time I go on Facebook or
It's
Instagram,
negative.
it's all negative. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's negative because you choose it to be negative. And like, what do you mean? I said, Facebook and that machine is so intelligent that it knows that when you're on there, you're going to interact more if you're like, so if you go on and fight with people in comment sections, Facebook's going to feed you more of that. So
Yep.
you keep, they
It's
want
like
to
their
keep you on.
algorithm
Yes,
that they have.
they want to keep you on your platform. So what I always say, like with kids and like nowadays, they should probably institute in schools a social media class.
Yeah.
I truly believe that, like because a lot of these parents don't, like parents and grandparents don't understand how fast this machine is moving.
Mhm.
Just from us, like we're the same age.
Shit,
Like,
I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm freaking look at me. I'm like,
yeah, well, it has evolved so quickly.
Yeah.
And it in such a
has.
rapid succession where like these kids now, like when you were getting bullied in school, or if you went through bullying in school, you went home and you weren't connected to
that was
anything.
it. That
And-
was the
and
end
then-
of it.
And
Yep.
then you were done, and then you're like, fuck, I dread going to school tomorrow.
Today's
now-
a new day, but there might be a chance.
It
they'll-
follows them
yeah.
home because it's
Yep.
school and social media and Snapchat and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
absolutely.
So
Yep.
it's a learning curve to try for you to learn, as well as like telling your kid like, hey, like it's not the end of the world, but you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
really, it's a challenging
It
thing.
is. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for you there, but, well, it was awesome. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
having you. Anytime you want to
thank
come back, let me
you.
know. Is there anything,
Yeah.
I always try to like do plugs because some people come on and they have stuff to plug. Is there any like local businesses or things you want to?
So definitely the Black Diamond.
Love the Black
They
Diamond.
are amazing. I love Amber and Sherry. They are fabulous. Get your asses out to the Black Diamond. Get some hot cheese balls and
Put
some of
Amber's
their-
put Amber's and Amber's and Sherry's balls in your mouth.
Yeah, they're amazing. I promise you guys. What else? So the Rotunda Brewery down in Anvil, they were awesome. They have a beer on tap right now called Task Force Anvil in support of our brigade deploying. They also have 4-packs to go. It's an IPA. It is actually really good, and I'm not an IPA fan.
I might make a run up maybe tomorrow.
It is
I try to
very
grab it for the show.
citrusy. Yeah, definitely do it. I think you would like it. It's awesome. The Fat Bastards Motorcycle Club. So they sent me a care package while I was gone, which is really cool and unexpected.
Where are they out of?
So they're actually out of like Ashland area. It's
The
just
Fat Bastard Motorcycle Club.
Fat Bastards Motorcycle Club. Yep.
I'm gonna keep that in top because these are the things that I like to learn about, so I can have them on the show to find out like
Yeah.
their backstory. Because
Okay.
everyone has a story. You know what I
Yep,
mean? Like I've learned a lot
absolutely.
more about you than I ever thought I would have.
Really?
Yeah,
All I have to do is ask.
I know, but like this is the whole reason I started this. I'd like
Yeah.
to meet and learn more about people because everyone, like I said, everyone has a story, and then even they don't realize they have it. You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like talking about it, I don't really think. I'm like, it's just my life. It's so boring.
But what you're telling today, because someone could listen to and be like, you can inspire somebody, or you know what I mean, like, or make a connection with somebody, like, because that's happened where people reach out and like, hey, your story really helped me in this aspect or
Yeah.
that aspect, or
I
you've
didn't
learned
see. I
something.
didn't look at it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're putting
Yeah.
it in perspective.
Method of my madness.
Ooh.
But you did absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
The lights were on, the cameras were
Hey
on.
guys.
I should have told people that live chat was on. People could have chat, but we didn't.
Oh, you didn't turn it on?
It is on, but no, I didn't really let people know that it's there. I mean, sometimes like people know, some people don't. But
Oh, we have one person.
yeah, one now.
Is that your wife?
Maybe. A lot of people watch the replays. It's like a replay thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because like right now, people are probably just getting home or doing the work thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Friday, isn't it?
Yeah. So we will be live again tonight at 9:00 for Not Cool in High School. We're going to be talking the Mortal Kombat franchise. So if you're into
Okay.
that, you guys can tune in.
I'm not gonna lie. I plan to be a little.
A little drunk. Are you going to the Black Diamond tonight?
No, I have to go to Harrisburg to see my dude. Hang out with him for a little bit, get some time with him.
Trying to think. Harrisburg. Are you like Harrisburg Mechanicsville area or just Harrisburg in general?
Just Harrisburg in general. Like I'm gonna cook dinner and just kind of hang out low key. Like one thing I've noticed is like going out, I still get some anxiety. Like I'm trying to adjust being home and being around people again. So like I do it in doses. So tonight is the night that I just want to chill out and like cook dinner and watch some Netflix or something, have a couple beers.
Did you watch Army of the Dead yet?
No, I
Do
did
it.
not.
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's a really fun movie.
It's a movie, not a
Yes.
series.
Nope. It's
okay.
It's
all right.
Batista, Dave Batista. He played
Yes.
from Guardians of the Galaxy. He played
Okay.
Drax. Essentially,
I love him.
essentially, I'm not giving anything away. Zombie outbreak happens. Military messes up. Zombie outbreak happens. They wall off Vegas, and these zombies kind of reside in Vegas.
Okay.
And Dave Bautista has a team to go in and try to open a vault to get money out of Vegas before they nuke it.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna watch
Vegas
it.
is completely filled with zombies,
All right.
and it's really, really fun.
I'll watch it.
But if you are gonna if you go to the mechanic, like the Harrisburg area a lot, and you're looking for things to do just because of the beer place, Tattered Flag.
Yeah,
It's
been there. I love them.
Their food's
Yes,
amazing.
they
Great
are.
place.
Yep. So I also love going to Dockside Willie's and Duke's
Okay.
in Wormleysburg.
Yep.
Their food is amazing. There's a new place you might want to try out in Hershey. Hold on, I gotta pull my phone up. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But
The other one while you're pulling it up, in mechanic, like right by the Mechanicsville area as well, is Mellow Mink.
okay.
It's literally in a strip mall, and you're like, that looks cheesy, and then you go in and it's gorgeous. Really, really good place. Mellow Mink, and then right up the street is Evergreen, another good brewery.
Yes, I've been there before. The Englewood.
Okay.
Hershey. So they're a new place, and apparently they are a brewery as well. Just go to englewoodhershey.com.
Have you gone to Black Rock yet in Pottsville?
No, I have not.
Really good. I think they're having a raspberry thing this weekend. It's all raspberry
love
flavored.
raspberry.
It's all raspberry beers this weekend in Pottsville.
Oh my Lanta. All right.
Yeah, check it out.
I guess I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah, and we have Black Rock, and then Pilgrim is opening soon. Budwashers are open in Pilgrim.
Yep, I was tracking that.
Yeah.
Or I would. Oh God, I gotta get this military talk out of my.
Tracking.
Yeah, I got it. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're like, how many clicks away are you? But all right, that'll do it. We'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure if you're watching back, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching or you're listening on iTunes, a 5-star review really, really helps out. Help us get the word out there. Word of mouth is definitely the best way. If you want to support us, we do have the Patreon as well as a merch page. You can get my stupid face on a t-shirt or a few other logos we have. We have, fun stuff on there if you guys want to support. Here's some Steve Fulton, local musician in the area.
Thank
also
you.
from the boys upstairs. We'll see you next time.